access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Jay Reynolds.
Hello, business family, and welcome to the Business of Black Business. Today, we have a unique opportunity to interview what I believe to be really a juggernaut in this space. A business owner that's built a significant business in a, let's call it a non-traditional kind of industry from our standards. But my real intention is I want you to hear from him. I want you to hear his story. I want you to hear how it happened and let's say why. Um, my name is Jay Reynolds. I own Wolf Creek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing firm that specializes in placing people in finance, accounting, and engineering. This is the Business of Black Business. It's a show that's designed to help Black entrepreneurs and would-be Black entrepreneurs or minority-owned entrepreneurs start and scale a business. It's really, more than anything else, a unique opportunity to gain access to really successful people and thought leaders to hear how they did it. We want you to be in the room where it happened. Today, we get the honor to introduce Nate Hammond of the CEO of Nate Hammond and Associates. Nate, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Great. Hey, first of all, please do me a real big favor. Would you introduce yourself to the audience? We know the people that know you know that you own one of the largest PE firms in South Florida as well as in the Atlanta area. But why don't you share your story? Talk to us. Let's call it how you got to this point. Who are you and why? And I'm really not talking about, Nate, the stuff that's on your bio. I'm talking about who are you? Who are your mentors and why are you the guy you are today?
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on the show. First and foremost, I'm a father. I'm a father of four, married for the last 18
Lord,
years.
you're a tough guy.
Yeah, it's a lot going on there. First of all, I'm so married for the last 18 years. My beautiful wife, Stacy. We live here in the Atlanta area, and that's who I am at first and foremost, as a father and a husband. But beyond that, I'm also the president of Hammond Associates, and what we are is we are minority Black owned MEP, otherwise known as mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, and we engineer for the built environment. And what does that mean even further? We are the ones who come up with the construction plans for construction for vertical buildings. Could be fire stations, K through 12 schools, higher education. And we work alongside architects who design the building, and then we overlay our disciplines, our specific disciplines for HVAC, electrical power, plumbing systems, fire protections, fire sprinkler systems, to come up with our own chapter of construction plans that go for permit and then ultimately get submitted for construction and built.
Right. And we're going to drill down into what you do, because that's really important, because it's kind of non-traditional. It's not something, you're in a space, can't say by yourself, but you're in kind of a unique space. And I really want to drill down into that. But let me ask you this. Where'd you grow up? What'd your father do? Or your parents or whomever?
Yeah.
Who inspired Nate? Why are you the guy you are, Nate?
Wow. There's a lot of people who had a hand in that, Jay. So I'm originally from St. Paul, Minnesota, but by way of I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Prince.
You pray.
Yeah, so I'm sure that there's a highway named Prince Highway or something like that. And where
right.
you from?
I was there for a very short period of my life, but what I know and love is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But I looked up to growing up. Well, one is my father. My father is an immigrant from Jamaica. I'm actually first generation American, along with my sister, my brother, and my dad started this business kind of from the ground up back in 1988. So I saw him start, always having some type of business, some type of entrepreneurship endeavor. If it was running a video store, which we had back in the day, or running an actual promotions company, selling trophies and different promotional items to different companies. Then it also led to the engineering company, which is what we have today. So He was one of my inspiration. I have a lot of other mentors that have come and gone and are still with me to this day that have inspired me to be who I am today. So that's where I would start there, Jay, in terms of
That's very
who I
cool.
am
So
and proud of myself.
you came about this honestly. You came about this. It was part of your DNA, right? I mean, you were
Oh, yeah.
born into an entrepreneurial family.
I did, and that's all I saw. My dad, I never saw my dad work for anybody, at least from the time that I remember. He
That's
would
cool.
always work for himself. So had a good model to kind of shape my future into, even though I didn't work for others for a period of time, I knew the destination eventually was to work for myself. So having my dad's had this company and to have a legacy that he can hand over to me, which we'll get into later on, I'm sure, about how I got into the company it's been a blessing to have a legacy that I can carry on and kind of stand on his shoulders.
That is so cool. And I talk all the time about generational wealth, right? And that's really where it comes from. It's handed down from people that inspire us to inspire the people that come behind us. And you're right. We're going to drill down into what it is you do. In let's call it in a non-STEM kind of language. Why don't you explain to people what you do?
All right. So for the layman,
Yes,
you
exactly.
are the ones if you're in your home or in any building, every building has HVAC for the most part. Makes keeps it cool or keeps it heated, and depending on the season where you are in the nation. You also have power. You turn on a light switch, lights come on. You plug something into the wall, it charges or it powers on. You have plumbing, you have water, you have bathrooms, you have water that comes into the building, you have waste that goes out the building, right?
Hmm.
You have fire sprinklers that make sure they activate up in case of a fire to allow you to escape the building or to protect the equipment that's in the building itself. And we're the ones who designed the systems that allow for those things to happen. And when I say design, we're the ones we're actually
Hmm.
schematically drawing those systems on paper using a CAD software to allow for a contractor to install those systems into those buildings. So when you ever walk into a building again, you look up, you see HVAC ductwork, or you see a vent, or you see lights, or if you go to a bathroom, you see faucets, you see pipes on maybe underneath the faucet.
Hmm.
We're the ones who draw that. And we do that through, again, like the menu CAD software. But there's building codes that we have to adhere to make sure that life safety is adhered to and that they're operational at the end of the day. So that's what we do to the
Perfect.
non-STEM
That's
person.
really, really a good understanding for people that don't necessarily know what a professional engineer does. How did you get into this business? And you built a really successful business. We got about a minute and a half before we go to break, but we'll go to our first commercial. So why don't you tell me how you got into this business? And when we come back from commercial, we'll drill down into a little deeper into that.
Sure, sure. I mean, ultimately, I got into it obviously see my father, but I wasn't. I'm not homegrown in this business by no means. Well, again, we can continue later on, but I'm not homegrown. I came up through the non-traditional route. I did follow mechanical engineering like my dad did, but I went into a public industry, working for Honeywell, Eaton, Siemens, to name a few firms, doing more supply chain management type work, actually in plants and in warehouses and stuff like that. And then lo and behold, my path has led me to my dad saying, "Hey, I need to find a succession plan, and I think you're best suited for that." So I got tapped on the shoulder about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, to be made the successor of the company. So that's kind of how it kind of started, and then from there, I can definitely continue as we go forward.
Wow, that is actually really, really cool. The fact of the matter is that it's I believe, and outside of our our lives and our families, it's not all you don't always see that, right? And it's really refreshing to me to see that absolute that happened in your family. And now we're going to come back. I want to drill down into that a little deeper, how you built this business and what you see for your business going forward. But we're going to take
Absolutely.
a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Experience the heart of HBCU culture at the Orange Blossom Classic. This Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens transforms into an HBCU homecoming you don't want to miss. Catch the matchup between North Carolina Central Eagles and the Alabama State Hornets on September 1st at Hard Rock Stadium. But there's more. Enjoy a full lineup of events like the Battle of the Bands and Fan Fest. Tickets start as low as $25. Get your tickets and book your hotels now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Be a part of something unforgettable.
Hey Miami-Dade, the August 20th primary election is approaching. Register to vote or change your political party online or by mail no later than July 22nd. Visit miamidade.gov/elections or call 311.
The Family Expo is back, and you don't want to miss it. Get ready for a day packed with fun and resources to help your family gear up for back to school. It's easy with an Uber voucher good for up to $15 each way. Join us on July 27th at Florida Memorial University and August 3rd at Miami-Dade College Kendall Campus. Visit thechildrenstrust.org/Family Expo for details. Uber voucher terms and conditions apply.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family. Our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters. Because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. Demesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Help comes in many forms. As a Miami-Dade County bus operator, you can help your community, help those in need, and even help yourself. Operators have the opportunity to earn more than $50,000 a year plus built-in overtime, earn more than 13 paid holidays and vacation days, and take advantage of the tuition reimbursement program. Plus, qualified new drivers will receive a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Become a driving force in our community. Apply now at miamidade.gov/busdriver.
Welcome back. We're talking to Nate Hammond of Hammond Associates, MPE. And Nate, I want to talk a little bit more about how you built this really, really successful business. First of all, it appears that you've made a concerted effort to build this business in Florida and in the Atlanta area. Tell me a little bit about that. Was that really intentional, or how did it happen?
Well, my father started coming back, and the only office we had upon me coming to the company was in South Florida, in Plantation, Florida, to be specific. There was no Atlanta office. There was no Orlando office. So my dad had established the company in a very big way over the first 35 years of the company, only in South Florida. And then I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, at the time, working for another company. And that's when he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I'm looking to retire eventually, and I think you best."
Yeah, come on home, boy. Come on home.
Yeah, he said. And he at first, the attempt was to have me come back down to South Florida to kind of keep it going down there. But I was like, well, my family was established here, and we're happy with where we were. So, as my dad says, if Muhammad won't come to the mountain, I'll bring the mountain to Muhammad. So we started an office in Atlanta with me being here. And that's how we got started here in Atlanta. It was kind of an expansion by way of circumstance of me not really wanting to go back down to South Florida. But my first role in the company was business development, vice president of business development. So my role was to bring business into the company.
So you're a left brain, right brain guy. I mean, you're part engineer, part sales guy. That's left brain, right brain. Really, really out of the ordinary.
Well, it is for engineers mostly, right. The extroverts and engineers are the antithesis of each other. But nonetheless, I do enjoy relationship building. I do enjoy people. I do enjoy getting to know people, and then that kind of naturally develops into business relationships along the way. But my dad handed me the key when we made the decision for have us start the office in Atlanta. My dad said, "We're going to open an office here. We'll get my license extended up here. And here's some keys. Here's the keys to the office. Here's our portfolio. Go sell
Go
something.
get it.
Go find work." And that's what I had to go do. I went everywhere, talked to people, cold call, cold email to establish our name here in Atlanta. Now our name was still established in South Florida very firmly in a big way. So nothing So even though I still had a responsibility to grow our client base in South Florida, but Atlanta was the focus, and that's what we did. And we started off with myself and one other individual, and now we're much bigger now.
Cool, cool.
So I guess the challenge I would say that that we overcame was that it took a lot longer than we thought it would to get things going. But honestly, when I look back at it, actually, it's pretty fast in the grand scheme of things, because we had to talk to a lot of people, cold call a lot of people, have a lot of lunch meetings, and just took a longer.
A lot of RFPs, a lot of RFIs, a whole lot of
RFPs, and
a whole lot of meetings.
Yes, but we persevered and we got over the hump, and like I said, we're in a better place now.
Got it. Tell me this in terms of who you are. Let's just talk about that. If you weren't doing what you're doing today, what do you think your vocational choices might be? What would you be doing?
I'll probably be doing something in financial management, helping families get debt free and learn how to manage their fund. If I was not doing this, I would probably go in that direction. A little bit about myself. My family and I, we actually went through a program through you may have heard of Dave Ramsey before, but we did that and learned a lot about becoming debt free and becoming better stewards of our money. And we saw a lot of families that really struggle with that, especially young married couples. And we were one of those young married couples until we found this. So I was inspired for a while to say maybe I'd go into financial management and help families, better manage their money and get out of debt and be able to look forward to a better future financially. That's one thing I thought about.
That might be a calling, though, Nate, in terms of the fact that, hey, look, I know you're a busy guy, and we all are, right? That might be a calling. It might be something that you do just to reach back and through organizations and communities and do community service, just basically to help, because that's one of the problems that we have is not necessarily we can't manage our money, but having a longer view of money, right? It's one of the things that I see with entrepreneurs all the time. And perhaps that might be a calling for you somewhere down the road. And that dovetails into my next question. How important is it to you to give back to the community? Because you've been successful. You've been not been successful. You are successful. Your family has been successful for a long time. How important is it for you to give back to the community?
It's paramount. I mean, you gotta lift as you climb.
Yeah.
You gotta lift as you climb. Because unfortunately, in order for us to change our outlook as a people, especially as Black people, you're only able to do that through educating those who are coming behind you.
Sure.
To really provide that step function growth, so that though I started on first base, how can we get somebody to start on third base? Right? Keep doing that. And right now, we are as a people, I think we're still overcoming centuries of issues that we're not even on. We're still in the dugout somewhere, right? Some cases.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm afraid for about tomorrow. If we don't band together and begin to make sure that we don't lose the ground that we've gained, I'm really, really anxious about tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but it's paramount. It's one of the things that I do today, especially within my industry. I'm the chairman of an organization named Spike Studio. Spike Studio is named after a renowned Black architect here in Atlanta, Oscar Spike Harris, where we are focused on giving back to the youth to inspire them, create a spark in them to get involved into architecture, engineering, construction. You may not know this, but less than 4% of the licensed architects and engineers in this country are Black or brown.
Wow.
So there is a less than 4%. So there is a tremendous dearth of individuals that look like you and I that I think can provide great value to this industry just by virtue of our background, our diversity, and what we've seen and the communities that we serve that are currently not in this space. And unfortunately, there's barriers to that. We need more of us in there, because when we're designing for projects that are in Southwest Atlanta or in Charlotte or in wherever it may be, we want to make sure that there's consideration for those who will be using that building, consideration for who will be, consuming what comes out of that building, so that, so that the overall design team is better, the overall design is better overall for the users.
Hey, we're gonna need to take a break really quick. When we come back, we're gonna talk about what's next for you. Okay, but we're gonna go pay the bills one last time, Nate. And when we come back, I really am interested in understanding where you're headed.
Okay.
Experience the heart of HBCU culture at the Orange Blossom Classic. This Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens transforms into an HBCU homecoming you don't want to miss. Catch the matchup between North Carolina Central Eagles and the Alabama State Hornets on September 1st at Hard Rock Stadium. But there's more. Enjoy a full lineup of events like the Battle of the Bands and Fan Fest. Tickets start as low as $25. Get your tickets and book your hotels now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Be a part of something unforgettable.
Hey Miami-Dade, the August 20th primary election is approaching. Register to vote or change your political party online or by mail no later than July 22nd. Visit miamidade.gov/elections or call 311.
The Family Expo is back, and you don't want to miss it. Get ready for a day packed with fun and resources to help your family gear up for back to school. It's easy with an Uber voucher good for up to $15 each way. Join us on July 27th at Florida Memorial University and August 3rd at Miami-Dade College Kendall Campus. Visit thechildrenstrust.org/Family Expo for details. Uber voucher terms and conditions apply.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family. Our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters, because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Help comes in many forms. As a Miami-Dade County bus operator, you can help your community, help those in need, and even help yourself. Operators have the opportunity to earn more than $50,000 a year plus built-in overtime, earn more than 13 paid holidays and vacation days, and take advantage of the tuition reimbursement program. Plus, qualified new drivers will receive a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Become a driving force in our community. Apply now at miamidade.gov/busdriver.
Welcome back. And again, we're talking to Nate Hammond of Hammond Associates. And Nate, tell me, if you want to single out one of the greatest professional accomplishments that you've had today, what would that be?
One, attaining my professional engineering license. I did that almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah, that's not so hard. I place engineers, and I got to tell you, that's not easy to do, brother.
Well, especially when you're removed 20 years from school. I remember I wasn't homegrown in this business by no means, so I didn't have the the pedigree coming into it, but I have it now because by virtue of learning by fire. But attending that was a very rewarding experience. I did it during COVID time, which is actually probably a blessing because I'd have been super busy otherwise. But that was a great accomplishment. I was happy. My father was super happy when he saw that I got that. Now we're licensed in multiple states, right? We're licensed not only in Florida, Georgia, but now Texas, and are approaching other states to be licensed as well.
That's very cool. And to say that you did it in a short period of time during COVID, that takes a lifetime. The fact that you got your PE in such a short period of time, that's a testament to who you are as a person. What are some of the projects, without giving people the secret sauce, what are some of the projects that you're working on right now?
Sure. We are on several projects here in Atlanta and South Florida, but I name a couple. We do aviation work. So we're working right now in South Florida. We're working on the new terminal at Fort Lauderdale Airport. It's a terminal dedicated to JetBlue Airlines. And that's Terminal 5 is what it's called. So we are very involved in that project right now. That's at about 90% complete design. So that's one. Number two, we are also operating in Orlando. We're working on some nice projects there. And then also here in Atlanta, I would say that the biggest one here in Atlanta is probably the one in Rockdale County and Conneaut area. It is a Rockdale County Judicial Complex. That is a project that we are actively working on. But we're working on fire stations. We're working on K through 12 schools, working at University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, Georgia State
Wow.
universities. We have a lot of higher ed stuff going on in Georgia as well. And the same down in South Florida, fire stations, administration buildings, police headquarters. So we have, the majority of our projects are public sector work projects, which with about 25% of our work private sector, multifamily, commercial office, so on and so forth. So those are some highlights, if you will.
Wow, that's huge, man. That's huge. I have about a minute left, but what advice would you give to someone that's trying to follow in your footsteps? Someone that's trying to build their own PE firm or MPE firm, or build get into your space. What advice would you give?
I would say just to do it. There's so much time that I know that people take on. They do a lot of planning, aiming, and they aim, and they keep aiming, and never.
Yeah. Ready, set.
Ready, set.
Yeah, I got it.
Now my, it is good, bad, and different. My philosophy is ready, fire, aim. I just go and figure it out later on. But
Yeah,
my
I
point
resemble that remark.
is to do it. Is to do it, because I will tell you that if you're on the side of the road and you have your hat in front of you, somebody's gonna throw money in there just because they think you need some money. My point is that with little effort, you'll get some progress there. But imagine if you put some real effort into it, you will be successful. You will find people you're looking for, or take on your services. So don't be afraid, do it, and then see what happens later on.
Hey, Nate, I really could talk to you for an hour. I'm out of time, but I got to tell you, I really enjoyed talking to you. We got to get together and do this again sometime and drill down a little deeper. Thank you, Legacy Magazine, for making this important. This is a Business of Black Business. My name is Jay Reynolds, and I always say that if it is to be, it's up to me. We'll see you next time on the Business of Black Business. Tune in.